I want to ask you is what does KAP stand for? And actually, I want to make sure you guys are still out there with me. So let me do a little poll. So everyone, tell me, does this stand for knowledge, awareness, perceptions, knowledge, awareness, practices, or knowledge, attitude, practices? Okay. Why don't you vote on what you think it is? Okay. A few more votes. Okay. 2 more seconds. All right. Let me share the results. And as we can see, 57% said knowledge, attitudes, practices. The other large choice was knowledge, awareness, perceptions. I think routinely it stands for knowledge, attitude, practices. Now, we sometimes want to assess awareness, though we may want to go over what's the difference between knowledge and awareness. But this question for me leads me to ask this question. Why do we measure knowledge, attitudes, practices? And you can unmute yourself if you want. Anybody? Why do we do this? What's the end goal here?
Change policies, maybe.
Change policies? Okay.
It's a surveillance of the current situation.
I'm sorry?
It's an assessment of a current situation.
Assessment of the current situation. Tell me more about that.
Before implementing any new policy, any intervention or anything, we should know where we stand and what's the current situation. Then we apply what we want, and then we measure.
And why are we measuring attitude and practice and perceptions and opinions?
Because it's changeable.
What's that?
It's changing.
Changing. What do you want to change?
It could help in prevention of a certain problem.
Prevention of a certain problem.
Yes.
Well, do we need attitudes for that?
Yes, because knowledge is not enough. So, like the smoking, and most of people know that smoking.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you, what do you mean by a certain problem? And I guess the example you're using is a certain behavior, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So that's, when we start measuring knowledge, attitudes, practices, the end goal here, most of the time, is we want to change behavior in order to promote a more healthy lifestyle. Now, a lot of market research. Well, no, even with why do a lot of companies do market research? What's their end goal? They're not interested in healthy behavior. They're interested in consumer behavior, and they want to know why would certain consumers buy one product versus the other. And theory of behavior is very interesting. And right before someone acts, there's an intent, but we need to look at attitudes, behavioral beliefs, subjective norms, control beliefs. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is that we want to, in order to change behavior, we need to know what drives behavior. And behavior is multi-dimensional, in which the most causal point is the intent, and then the attitudes drive the intent, and then you have all the other aspects that goes into behavior that includes knowledge, perceptions, awareness, opinions, and most important, we have the attitudes. So importance of attitudes, very causally linked to behavior. Researchers are interested in people's attitudes. An attitude is a psychological construct. It is a person's predisposition to respond favorably or unfavorably to activities, people, events, and objects. Attitudes are often considered a precursor to behavior. So think about that. Why are we doing these surveys?